Fugitive Australian journalist Shane Dowling from the website and YouTube channel Kangaroo Court of Australia. Now, former federal politician Graham Richardson passed away a few weeks ago, and they flagged pretty well straight away they were going to have a state funeral for him. And when they made that public, the Labor government received a lot of criticism, and rightly so. And I published an article on it a couple of weeks ago, and that article's still relevant now. The state funeral is set down for 11 a.m. on Tuesday, the 9th of December 2025 at St Mary's Cathedral, College Street in Sydney. Now, I have no doubt the main reason he's getting a state funeral is because of his friendship with the Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese. And ultimately, I think it's going to be very embarrassing for the Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, if he shows up to the funeral. That's going to draw a lot of attention to it. And a lot of people are going to be asking, well, why did Graham Richardson get a state funeral? And I'll read out that article now. The article was published on the 13th of November 2025, and it's titled, Anthony Albanese Puts Spotlight on Labor Party Corruption, Sex Workers and Tax Fraud. And it starts off, Prime Minister Anthony Albanese's offer of a state funeral for Graham Richardson has already had the effect of making Labor Party corruption, sex workers and tax fraud front page news. And if the state funeral for former federal politician Graham Richardson, who passed away on Saturday, the 8th of November 2025, goes ahead, it'll do untold damage to the credibility of Anthony Albanese in the Labor Party. Like I said at the beginning, it's already been set down for a date, so it will be going ahead. My article goes on to say, for people who don't know, and there is no one in politics who doesn't know, Graham Richardson was a major league crook who liked to mix sex workers with politics and business. I wrote about Albanese's relationship with Richardson being a problem last year in an article titled Anthony Albanese, Thai Massages and his mates Graham Richardson, Alan Jones and Lachlan Murdoch. Anthony Albanese should have either said nothing about Richardson's passing or just said a few words and left it at that. By offering to use taxpayers' funds to pay for the state funeral for Richardson, Albanese has made it a political issue that could and should be discussed and debated, like all government spending of taxpayers' money. While new media was always going to shine a light on Graham Richardson's corruption, it is interesting that some old media have also jumped on board, which has helped amplify Albanese's self-inflicted problem. The Sydney Morning Herald ran a detailed story about Richardson on the 11th of November 2025, which said, it's hard to know where to start when talking about Graham Frederick Richardson, bagman, political fixer and bon vivant. There were the bribes paid to him by way of prostitutes, offset Alpine, Swiss bank accounts, taking a cut of political donations he collected, accepting a hefty payment from Eddie Obeid in return for getting Obeid into Parliament, having a major property developer build an extension on his home, being on the payroll of developers, and so much more. Crikey published an article on the 12th of November 2025, which starts off, instead of giving the grub Graham Richardson a state funeral, the government should be exploring ways to ensure we never see his like again in politics. Other media reports are just as critical of the state funeral offer. And that creates a massive problem for Anthony Albanese, because if the state funeral does go ahead, and like I said at the beginning, it is going ahead, social media will go into meltdown with attacks on Albanese and the Labor Party, pouring taxpayers' money down the drain for their mate Richardson. Some are saying it's an error of judgment by Anthony Albanese to offer a state funeral for Graham Richardson. It's not an error of judgment. As I wrote in my last article, Anthony Albanese is so arrogant now, he just doesn't care, because he thinks he's above accountability. The same as Scott Morrison didn't care and thought he could just lie his way out of any situation. I published a video on YouTube in July 2018 of Mark Latham attacking Graham Richardson on Sky News, detailing Richardson's corrupt past. The point of the video is that Graham Richardson's corruption has been openly spoken about for years, and Anthony Albanese knows all about it and has still been happy to be friends with Graham Richardson. And I'll show you that video now.
This is a guy who's very smart. This guy's got a very, very high IQ. You invite him into lunch and the line will eat you for first course.
Well, Richo, you've got to be kidding the viewers. To sit there and say the difference is Pauline Hanson runs Pauline Hanson's One Nation and Shorten's got a party structure. For the public, it's no difference. It's no difference. A backflip is a backflip.
Rubbish.
And if you believe for a moment,
hang on for a moment. It was a backflip.
And bullshit about what happened over those 3 days, you're a bigger fool than you look.
Yeah.
Okay? It's unbelievable. Totally unbelievable.
You don't believe anything that comes out of the Labor Party anymore. The party that built you, the party that made you. Those people in Green Valley that contributed to you when you were the Green Valley branch of the Labor Party when you were going to university. As I said this afternoon on the radio, they're either rolling in their graves or they're just shaking their heads if they're still alive.
Well,
I mean, it's just a tragedy, and it's sad, Mark. You were once on a path of greatness. I don't know what happened.
I'll tell you what's sad, taking money from Ron Medich, as you did as a lobbyist. I'll tell you what's sad, putting Eddie O'Brien
taking money from Ron Medich.
I'll tell you what's sad, having a wife on the payroll at Balmain Welding when they were into organised crime. I'll tell you what's sad, having a Swiss bank account and getting in trouble.
I never had a Swiss bank account, and that was proven. That was proven
from you.
Well, I'm not taking anything from you either. All I know is that when it comes to being a shyster, don't you ever lecture me on personal behaviour. You wouldn't know it. You wouldn't know proper behaviour.
The Medich money.
When Ron Medich was not a criminal 10 years ago, 10 years, and by the way, I stopped taking money from Ron Medich and only took it from his brother because I didn't like the ones that the people he was mixing with. I want a load of rubbish. What a load of rubbish. Well, I'm not taking any from you.
Don't you tell me what's sad.
You're not just a rat little buddy, you're a king rat. And I'll tell you something about king rats. It's not the case that everybody else changed and poor Mark Pure Latham stayed the same. That's what you'd love to claim, but you can't do it.
Well, you get back down to Balmain Welding.
That's now 40 years ago.
What happened?
40 years ago. They had a royal commission into it and couldn't find Casey guilty of a bloody thing. That's what happened.
Okay, there's plenty more.
And you know it.
There's plenty more.
No, I don't.
We'll all get a chance to say
No, I
that in a
don't. I'm
second.
not taking lectures from you.
But I'm going to
from you.
Now, the letter you can see up on screen now is what Prime Minister Anthony Albanese posted on Twitter, or X, formerly known as Twitter, a couple of weeks ago. And it says, statement on the passing of Graham Richardson, AO. And it starts off, with the passing of Graham Richardson, we have lost a giant of the Labor Party and a remarkable Australian. I'm not going to read it all out to you. It's up on screen now. You can pause it and read it yourself. Or you can go to my website and click on that article, because that letter is embedded in the article. You can read the whole letter there. But I'll read these couple of lines out. Richo's life was often colourful and sometimes controversial. Well, when he says that, he's actually talking about the corruption, which Prime Minister Anthony Albanese ignores for whatever reason. My article goes on to say, the New South Wales Premier also posted a few paragraphs acknowledging Graham Richardson and his time as a politician, but he didn't offer a state funeral. Why the Prime Minister offered a state funeral, not the Premier of New South Wales, I don't know. When Albanese defends Graham Richardson in the letter above, he is defending the widespread political corruption that Richardson was involved in. If the state funeral of Graham Richardson does go ahead, and as I said, it is going ahead, Prime Minister Anthony Albanese might want to consider calling in sick or quickly planning an overseas trip to avoid the political damage of attending. Once again, Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has shown who he really is. His loyalty is to a corrupted political system and machine, not the Australian people. Now you can go to my website, Kangaroo Court of Australia, and click on that article. It's got that full letter there. You can read that to Anthony Albanese's full letter. And also there's links there with further information. And I'll finish off this video like I have the last couple of videos. I'm running a campaign to try and get another 200 monthly supporters, which I really need to be financially viable. Over the last week or so, there's been 12 new supporters join. So from the 200 targeted, we're down to 188 we need. And I'll read out this paragraph. And it says, I'm an independent journalist and 100% crowdfunded by readers like you. I need about another 200 monthly supporters to be financially viable. That's down to 188 now. Most independent journalists are small business owners / sole traders and are struggling at the moment, just like many small businesses are. If you could afford an amount between $3 to $100 a month, or whatever suits your budget, it'd be greatly appreciated. You're not locked in, you can cancel at any time. And the donations page on my website, Kangaroo Court of Australia, has all the donation options. And as you can see, my new Fugitive Clothing t-shirt shop is up and running. And you can visit that, fugitiveclothing.com.au. And the money raised helps me produce the articles and the videos that I do. And please do your bit and help shine a light on corruption and share this video on social media. And please hit the like and subscribe button, notification button. That way you get notified every time I publish a new video. Other than that, thank you for your time and have a good day.